Hey, welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and in this video, I'll be walking you through step-by-step how to set up a professional Facebook business page. And this is something that absolutely everybody should be doing. Every business out there, every fundraiser, every personal portfolio, whatever your reason is for being on the internet, a Facebook business page is an incredibly powerful tool. And yet I'm so surprised at how many businesses either don't have one or they do have one and just missing a lot of information, missing a lot of key settings, and missing a lot of stuff that I'll show you throughout this video that can bring your business, your fundraiser, your personal portfolio, whatever it might be, to the next level. And these are things that a lot of times people kind of write off the Facebook business page as, well, it's only like if you're on Facebook and only boomers are on Facebook or whatever. First of all, that's not true. A lot of people do use Facebook. And second of all, it's actually very, very useful outside of Facebook as well. Facebook business pages rank on Google. And oftentimes early on for a business, the Facebook business page has better domain authority than your own website. So that means if somebody's searching for your local business, your Facebook business page is going to rank above your own website, which means that if somebody's Googling that and they find that and your Facebook business page is just kind of half-assed, it's missing information, it doesn't have the right buttons in there, you could be losing customers. Or even worse than that, if you don't even have a Facebook business page, somebody else could be outranking you in Google and taking customers that should rightfully be yours. So with that being said, this is easy to do. I'm going to walk you through everything in this video. We're going to start off going over to facebook.com. I'm just starting off on some Facebook business page here just to kind of show you some of the tools before we go and set up our own. If you already have an account, sign in under your personal account. Do not sign in under a business account yet. That's not really the way this works. Facebook requires every individual to have their own personal account. They're going to require like photo ID verification and stuff like that if they suspect like your birthday's wrong or anything like that. So sign in with your own personal account. If you don't have one, go ahead and make one, pause the video, and then come back right here. And then once we're on Facebook, I'm just on a random Facebook business page just to kind of show you some of the tools that are available. You can see posting on the right side. This is going to be a great example of any kind of sales or timely things you can just put out right here. And a lot of these you'll notice are square posts, which means they're probably sharing them on Instagram as well. Additionally, on the left side, we can see this page in particular has a lot of information about their email, their website, their hours are open. You can see their reviews down here. So not everyone's recommending them. Maybe they can find some things to work on, their address. And of course, we also have the ability to book a tee time with this particular golf course. So this is something that is, very well established. I think they did a pretty good job with this, but now let's actually talk about how to make our own. So on the top right, you'll see your little profile picture right there. But don't click on your profile photo. 3 buttons to the left of that, you'll see a little 9-square array titled menu. We're going to click on that. And then on the right side, you'll see create. So we're going to go down here and create a page. And again, don't worry that this is connected to your personal account. In the future, we can migrate this over to the Meta Business Suite and get this off of your personal account. But for now, you have to set it up with your personal account. So now we're going to create the page. The name of this, I'm going to say this is Willow Grove Window Washing, just a fictitious business I made up right now. The category right here, window washing, see if window washing, window cleaning maybe, home window service. I guess that's kind of close enough. Cleaning service. Okay, so you can pick a couple categories right here. I'm choosing 3 because none of them are specifically tailored exactly to my business. Hopefully what you are looking for is a better match, but you want to pick several that are as close as possible. Don't pick too many. Usually 3 is a good number for this. And now we can make a bio. This is optional, but I highly recommend you do this again to help you rank on Google. Google is going to read this, and if you say, hey, we're a window washing business in Philadelphia, then when somebody searches Philadelphia window washing business, this is going to be indexed and this is going to potentially pop up in Google. So our bio, I'm just going to paste a little bio in right there. It shows up underneath there. That might be a little longer than I would like. Typically just 2 lines is probably going to be ideal, but we'll leave it as that for now. And of course, on the right side, you can see you're able to toggle between the desktop view, which many people will be visiting, but just as many people are likely to be visiting from mobile. So you want to check out both as you go through. So this is looking a little wordy. Like I said, I might trim that down a bit. There we go. Something simpler like that. Now I'll say create page. All right, so that was created now. Now we can add some contact information here. So I'm going to add a phone number and then an email, our address, Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. Then we can add our hours here. So let's open at selected hours, and we're going to say this is going to be maybe like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now, Facebook doesn't really give us, at least I've never seen a good way to kind of copy these all the way down. So what I do is I just highlight them. So Control A, Control C, and then as we go down here, just paste them one at a time. So click on paste, paste, and then Sunday paste as well. So now for the hours, do the same with the closing time, paste there, and maybe we're closing a little bit earlier on Sundays. Maybe we're done by like 1 p.m. or something like that, 2 p.m., and on Saturday, 7 p.m. again. If we wanted to have different hours, so maybe you have like a morning and an evening, maybe you have, I don't know, if you do like a siesta or whatever, you can add a little plus right here and you can have 2 different hours in the same day. So maybe 7 a.m. to like maybe 11 a.m. would be one set of hours. So 7 a.m. to maybe like 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then down here, maybe we're going to say like noon to like 5 p.m. or something like that. So that way you have like your lunch break when nobody's going to come in that it says it's closed online. So we're going to save this. Now we have our hours there. As we scroll down, right now it says, okay, fair page health. We don't have a lot populated just yet. We do have to add our website here. I'm going to add the YouTube page just because I don't have a link for this specific website. If you haven't made a website for your business yet, by the way, I have full tutorials on how to do that. Some really easy ways to do that. Hosting Your Builder is probably the video that I would recommend. Very affordable, very easy to set up, and very customizable. Okay, so let's click on next. Now we can add our cover photo and our profile photo. So I just made a quick little logo here in Canva. I've got a light one and a dark one. You can try out either one to see which one looks best on your specific wallpaper you're going to choose. So I'm going to choose the darker one right now. I think that'll look better. And then you can see it kind of gets cut off right there. So let's delete that. I think my light one has more of a boundary on it. So let's see if this one's a little bit better. We'll add this one. And there we go. So you can kind of see it a little better. I might go in and edit this just to add a little bit more spacer, but you can read everything quite well there. So I'm going to add a cover photo now. We can go with this one right here, kind of a nice basic cover photo, or to make it a little bit more personal, which I don't know why you'd ever want to squeegee from the bottom up. I think that's a weird photo, but let's add another one here. I'm going to say maybe this one right here. Photo of me, clearly me washing windows. And because we want to reposition this so my head's not cut off, on the left side, we can click drag to reposition, and we're going to drag it down to right there. So there we go. A nice photo of definitely me, definitely washing windows. And this little button right here, a lot of people skip this. It's very, very important. Facebook's been moving this around as well. So it wasn't here in older videos, but it is now. We're going to add the action button. So I'm going to click add action button. Now we can say try it. And this is going to be probably the most important part of your Facebook business page. The purpose of people coming here is to do what, right? Are you trying to get them to donate? Are you getting them to go to your website and purchase something, go to Spotify and like listen to your music? Or are you trying to get them to like sign up, book now, order, whatever? Think of what your main purpose for this Facebook business page is. When people get here, what should they do? And that's what you want to make this button. So we have a lot of options here. Of course, you could buy tickets if you are like a band or something like that touring. You can start an order if you have maybe like a local restaurant. That would be start an order, would be a common thing there. View shop if you're selling local merchandise or shipping merchandise as well. Book now would be ideal for like yoga studios. This might work. Book now might make sense for this window washing company, so you can schedule when you're going to be booking it. And otherwise, you have other options down here like call now, send an email, contact us, as well as quite a few others down here like visit a group, make a reservation, play a game. There's a ton of options for what your business page might be targeting. For this specific one, I'm going to say book now. We can connect a scheduling tool to this. Now, like I said, if you don't already have a website, there are some good scheduling tools out there. Hosting Your Builder does have scheduling tools in there. Also, Acuity is a pretty popular one as well. If you only care about scheduling and don't really want to build a full website, Acuity is good. But I don't know. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to not connect that. And instead, I'm just going to go down here and add a phone number. We're going to say call now. We'll say next, and maybe we have like an admin or someone in our office that actually answers the calls and does the scheduling. There we go. So I'll say save. And now we'll have an action button on our page. So we can say next. And that brings us to step 3 of 5. You can connect a WhatsApp to your page. So if you use WhatsApp, which I would recommend maybe setting up, not everybody, especially in the US, it's not really that relevant, but maybe people don't want to text you, or a lot of people maybe use WhatsApp, especially in other countries, then they could add that right here. You could add that right here and people can message your WhatsApp, your business WhatsApp account. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to say skip because, again, in the US, I don't really think it's absolutely essential. Like, I know very few people that primarily use WhatsApp. A lot of people use either iMessage or, just native SMS on like an Android phone, for example. I'm going to say next. I'm going to skip that one. That's just kind of asking you to invite your friends to like your page, which you probably should do. I'm not going to invite my friends to like this because it's a fake page. It's not real. But you want to get a couple likes on there, at least so Facebook knows that you're legitimate, and that can help you to eventually get your username and your URL, which we'll talk about in a minute. Then we can choose the notifications we're getting. So you can leave these on right now, turn that one off. And I'm going to actually turn them both off because I don't really need a lot of notifications. I plan on checking this page quite often. And that brings us into our dashboard here. So I'm going to close out of this little pop-up here, and that'll bring you to your dashboard on Facebook. So in essence, what we have here on the right, these are going to be the posts that you already have. On the left, this is going to be similar to what viewers will actually see when they visit your website. So if you want to change your bio or edit any details right there, that is going to be what pops up, and you want to make sure that is, of course, correct. Up here are some things that Facebook is recommending we do, things that, like I said, we haven't done yet, linking our WhatsApp account or inviting our friends. However, creating a welcome post is probably a good idea, so we can start off by doing that. Instead of clicking right there, though, I want to show you how you're going to post all the time in the future, and that is over here. You will always see this little kind of block on the top that is going to be what's on your mind. So it says what's on your mind. You can just click on that, and that will allow you to type up a post if you wanted to, just whatever you want there. You can also add some other things to your post. You can tag people, you can add images, you can add check-in like a location, you can add how you're feeling right now, just kind of different ways, kind of cheeky for making your post right there. Other options though, live video, I don't recommend doing that for most businesses. I would much prefer to see you do photos and videos, so a little bit more evergreen, tailored to kind of being up long term, can be a little bit more refined as well. And Reels are the other option. Reels are going to be much more browsable, great for discoverability. So if you make Reels about like the best barbers in your area and you happen to be one of them, or maybe you make a reel of like the best haircuts for men in 2024 and you're a local barber, of course, that's a good way to get a lot of discoverability. There's no guarantee that all of those viewers are going to be local. They might be all over. However, if you mention where you are, you could potentially gain some new customers doing stuff like that. Something to play around with, maybe experiment, but not necessary for everybody. So for the first post, I'm going to post a photo or a video. I'm going to add, let's just say, this photo right here, just a photo of me. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of text up there, and I'm going to post that. And of course, we have this little pop-up here, the ability to add a call now button on your post. I'm going to click on add button. And I'm just going to say continue. So now when somebody sees that post, there's a button there, makes it a little bit more actionable. So again, instead of just having it on your page, you also have your action button on any individual post, much like this one right here. So that is now posting. You'll see right now, call now is going to be showing up right there. And just kind of recapping in case that pop-up doesn't come up for you, if you wanted to, let's just say we're going to post another photo. We're going to upload, say, this photo right here. And down here, I'm going to click on the three dots and say, what do we want to add? We want to say get calls. So we're going to say enter phone number. I'm going to say continue. And now we'll have that button on here as something that we can add into that post. So we're going to say post. And then this one will also post again with that similar button as I mentioned. Okay, so this is all very surface level stuff, right? You may already even be at this point if you've made one in the past, but there are a lot of key settings that we need to really optimize to make this page even better. So on the left side, we want to go down to settings. I'm going to click on settings. That'll bring us into quite a few settings about our page. You can see on the left side, just tons and tons of options here. We won't go through all of them, mostly just going through the ones that I would say are very important. So going through preferences, first of all, reaction preferences, you can choose if you want to show or hide the number of reactions on your posts or on other posts from other people that are maybe tagging you, for example. So if you're really small in the beginning and you're trying to act like you're bigger than you are, you may not want it to show like just 1 or 2 likes. So maybe you could hide this on your post in the beginning if you really wanted to. Notifications, of course, you will be getting a ton of notifications in the beginning. This can be a distraction for your business. So personally, I like to disable a lot of the notifications here. So I'll just go in and just kind of disable as many as I can. Then down here, accessibility, not a whole lot that I need to change here. If you want to change like light or dark mode, you can do that. Scrolling down then, we have page details. This is going to be a big one. We added a bunch of page details already, but you'll see among here, there are a number of others that we weren't prompted to add when we first set this up. One of them is going to be our social links. So if you have an Instagram, if you have a TikTok, if you have LinkedIn, Pinterest, whatever your other profiles may be, we want to add those links right here. So I'm going to add the social links. I'm going to add a social link right here. For Instagram, I'm going to say Mike O'Brien. That's just what I'm going to add right now. Obviously, you want to add your business one, but we're going to add that social link. Let's say we want to add one for maybe Twitter. And again, that's Mike O'Brien with 2 N's. You can click, and then you just keep clicking add social link on the right side, the little drop down there. You can choose what this is actually going to be. And again, not every business needs to have like a Snapchat, for example, and all these other ones. But if you do have one, it could be a nice way for people to potentially learn more about your business or contact you or do whatever. Again, like maybe a band would be a good example of where you can link a SoundCloud, different things like that. So I'm going to say save. We'll have those links right there, Facebook and Twitter. And then down here, we can add some other things as well. So what is our price range? Maybe we are more of an expensive, but not a full-blown splurge category. So $3 signs, I think, would make sense here. We can also add diversity info. So if you are a minority-owned business or you want to share that you're like a woman-owned business or something like that, you can add that information right there. I'm not going to be adding that right now. So you can add services down here as well. So if we have like online booking, we can add that. If we have maybe takeout or dine-in or different things, like none of these apply necessarily to a window washing business, but whatever your business may be, I recommend checking this out in case you look at it and say, hey, you know what? We actually do have delivery services. I want to add that on here so not everybody thinks they have to go through Grubhub, which is going to cost you more money. Maybe you're a local pizza shop and you have your own delivery driver. Saves you money if they just go through this, and it saves them money as well. So I'm going to say save. We can also add other languages. So if you speak English and Spanish as a second language, you can mention, hey, you know, like you speak Spanish as a second language. If anyone comes in, they only speak Spanish, you're able to get by, but it's not your primary language. We can say save, just kind of, again, making it more accessible and answering those questions for potential viewers. We can edit the ratings right here. So right now we have no ratings, but you could allow ratings or say, you know what, we don't want ratings on here, especially if you have bad ratings. Maybe you want to kind of fix that and get rid of that. Just, you know, hide your ratings if that is a situation. Then on the left side of this, we're still kind of going through the profile customization here. We have privacy and legal information. So if you have a privacy policy, again, maybe if you have like software or any kind of business that would be collecting information, local like dentists and doctors that might be collecting medical information, you can add a privacy policy right here. Just paste the link to whatever your privacy policy page is from your website. I'm going to say cancel because I don't have one right now. Work and education, if you want to add any experience in the past, I don't think that's really relevant here. Places lived, not relevant. Page transparency, I'm not going to do anything here. Family and relationships, details about you. None of those things really matter. Maybe some details about you. You could add a more detailed bio here about your business. So let's just kind of paste that bio here again. I'm going to say save. More of a lengthy bio here, I would say. And name pronunciation. So if it's like Santrel Media, people might say that incorrectly, and you'd want to kind of show how it's pronounced. And, you know, anything else you want to be fun, add a quote or something like that, you could do that. Otherwise, like life events, this is really tailored more towards like people. So like public figures, maybe you would add this kind of stuff, but a lot of businesses, I don't think necessarily need to. So let's go back to settings. And going down here, we did everything in preferences. We talked about page details, how people can find and contact you. Right here, allow search engines outside of Facebook to link to your page. Definitely make sure this is enabled. This is what I was saying in the beginning. You can rank on Google for your Facebook business page. And if you don't believe me, remember in the beginning of this video, I just looked up a golf course, Pickering Valley Golf Course. If I look up Pickering Valley Golf, of course, they've been around for a long time. So the first thing that pops up is going to be their website. Then below that, you look down, the third link right there, their Facebook business page. So even if you do outrank your Facebook business page, you want to take up all that real estate so competitors are not showing up there. That's really valuable real estate on something like a Google search page. All right, but getting back to here, we have our post settings here, so you can change if you want it to be public. Of course, I would highly recommend that. You can allow comments or you can allow comment summaries on your post or not. We've got stories, so if you want to do anything with that, you can change your settings here. Page setup, any kind of page setup here, you can manage over here. There's not really a whole lot that I would recommend when you're getting started other than advanced messaging. So if we say view right there, there are some advanced messaging features we can configure if you're expecting people to be asking questions on your Facebook business page. I'll actually get into that a little bit later. But going through the left side, we've got reels here. So choosing who can see your reels, again, keep that public. I recommend keeping that public at least. Followers and public content, you can choose, again, what kind of content is shown and what's not. I would recommend hiding comments with profanity. You just don't want that being shown on your page. I don't like dealing with that. So I always go and toggle that to, enable the filtering there. Page and tagging, again, you want to make sure that you do have this enabled, so you can make sure that if you're an ice cream shop and somebody goes to your, gets your ice cream and they take a photo, they're able to tag you and of course share that they got their ice cream there, and it's kind of nice free marketing there. But you may want to review in case, it starts getting out of control and people tag you and they're not really relevant, or it's like a competitor or something like that. You want to make sure that, sometimes you can go in and review them. I leave that disabled in the beginning, and if it gets out of control, eventually this is where you can find that setting over in page and tagging. And then lastly, blocking. Hopefully you never have to block any users, but if anyone is like really spamming or harassing anyone on your account, you can go and block them so they're no longer able to participate in anything that you post. We're not going to be running ads just yet, but ads can be set up right here with ad payments. Otherwise, there's not a whole lot of settings I want to change in here. So let's go back to our page by clicking right here, clicking on our page, and that brings us back to our page. So we talked about the advanced settings. Let's talk about the professional dashboard here. This is a really valuable tool to see who's visiting your page, what posts are doing well, what's being engaged with, and different things like that. And so going into this right now early on, we don't really have any details on this page. We can see all of the recent content, but of course nothing has any engagement just yet. But aside from the analytics, there are two main things I want to do right here. One is if we scroll down a little bit more, you'll see we can do A/B test. This is a new feature. I really like this feature as well. So you can create an A/B test and see what is going to perform better. So you can have like two different posts, for example, version A or version B, and they'll both go out and you'll see, hey, which one's actually performing better? That's a great way to test what potentially could be run as an ad. So I like doing that. Have two different iterations, maybe one with captions or without captions, maybe one like male voice, female voice, maybe one in like a darker or lighter environment. There's different ways you can kind of set this up. And, running that A/B test, I think is really valuable for like a video, for example, just adding two different videos, running those as a post and seeing how they perform. So once you find the better performing one, kind of iterate on that, run a couple more tests, and then eventually you'll end up with something that could potentially be like a really good viable ad that would work well without having to spend the money to actually go and post those ads. So that's a cool test right there. That's a really cool thing right there. There's other things I want to talk about in a second, but going down here to the linked accounts, this is something that I think most businesses should also have an Instagram business page. And if you do, you can just click on connect right here. So Instagram, we can say view. Right now we don't have an account connected. I will say connect account. We can say connect. We can allow the inboxes to be merged. I think that's very valuable. And then of course we can sign in. All right, so now we have our Instagram connected. Some other things we have on the left side. I said those are the main two things I wanted to talk about, but there are some other really cool features that I highly recommend at least checking out. So some of them you don't really need. Levels progress, I don't really care about that one. Achievements, again, don't care about that. Facebook just wants to kind of gamify it and encourage you to use their platform more. It's in their best interest to get a lot of content out there and a lot of engagement. Obviously, they also want you to, of course, pay for ads eventually. I'm sure that's where they funnel you here. You don't have to, though. Most businesses don't need to pay for ads for local stuff like this. Comments manager, this is where you can go and just see all your comments without checking out one post at a time. Below this, where's the thing I was looking for? Messaging settings. There we go. So messaging, this is really cool. You can kind of set up some deeper automations with messaging. So instead of just kind of having somebody constantly monitor your messages, which I do recommend, have your notifications on so you can reply to people, but you can have some really nice instant replies, some really nice ways to kind of answer some frequently asked questions. So let's start off with an instant reply. I'm going to say start. We're going to say try it. So we can choose this to be on Messenger. Whenever you receive a message from this, you can say, hi, thanks for contacting us. We received your message. Appreciate you reaching out. Our hours are, and then like whatever your hours are. And then below that, maybe you could have, we will respond to your, there we go. Just kind of a good way to kind of engage in case they send it out, just to know their message wasn't like shot out into the abyss. Instead, it's going to be, telling them, hey, we appreciate it. We're responsive. This is real for us. And maybe answer a couple of frequently asked questions in that response. That's what I would like to do. Adding your hours, adding some basic things like that. And then below just saying, we'll get back to you really soon. So I'm going to say save changes right there. And that's one automation you could set up. Here's just generally an FAQ one. So we can say, try this again in Messenger. When somebody starts a chat, instead you could just show like, hey, here's the FAQs. Instead of putting it in that welcome message, you could do that right here instead by adding some other questions. Let's add a whole bunch of questions right here. And with each of those questions, you can add like a media or a button or something like that if you want to add more information into those responses. So let's save those changes. There's a bunch of other ones as well. You can have away messages if you're traveling for vacation. You can identify unanswered messages. It's going to just filter them out for you. Look at custom keywords, contact information, hours, location. There's a lot of cool automations you can set up right here or create your own as well. So automations for messages, I think, is a really powerful tool that, again, most people just don't actually know about with their Facebook business page. If we go back to inbox here, you'll see a good way to manage all of them in here. So Instagram and Facebook, your DMs, your messages, anything that people are trying to ask you questions, instead of logging into both those accounts and then going through your DMs on a phone, you can do that all on a laptop. 10 fingers, type a lot faster than 2 thumbs. That's what I always say. All right, so now you might notice this interface looks a little bit different. We went down this little rabbit hole and we ended up in the Meta Business Suite. It's kind of one of the reasons people get confused with Facebook business pages, because there are like 2 different ways you can manage them. One is in business.facebook.com. That's the Meta Business Suite. And the other one is just from facebook.com. That's the more user-friendly way that I've been showing you for most of this video. But now that we're in the Meta Business Suite, just in case you want to see it, I'm going to click on the top left where it says Meta Business Suite. Click on that. And this is just business.facebook.com. It'll show you this right here. Kind of a slightly different interface, a little bit less of like the user-friendly version, much cleaner at the same time somehow. But you're able to edit a lot of things up here. So you can create posts and stories here. You can change your cover photo. You can choose if you have a different Instagram logo, Facebook logo. You can change all of that right here. And you can do things like content planner. So if you want to kind of schedule some content to go out next week, you can do that right here. You can see what's been going out over the past week. And so if you have a big content plan, this could be a really powerful tool to work with. Otherwise, you can see insights in here as well. And if you are running any ads, most of the ad stuff is going to be run through the Facebook business, through the Meta Business Suite rather. Sorry, they rebranded. Meta Business Suite is what it's called now. But let's go back to our Facebook business page. So to do that, I'm just going to type in facebook.com. On the right side, click on the drop down, make sure you're on your business page, click on that. And that brings us back to the more common editor that I would really prefer to use, which is within Facebook right now. But like I said, you could do it either way. And if you ever want to go back to that Meta Business Suite again, you'll see you can either type in business.facebook.com, or on the left side, Meta Business Suite pops up right over there. Now, this menu right here, this is something else we definitely need to customize. A lot of people have this, and it doesn't really make sense for some businesses to have like followers and reviews and photos, and instead maybe they want to have some more relevant things to them. So if we click on the 3 dots on the right side, we can, first of all, view this as like an actual visitor and see what our page looks like. Right now, this looks pretty solid. We have a lot of information on the left side, but again, I want to customize that menu. Otherwise, I recommend checking this out as frequently as possible to see what the end user is actually going to see. I'm going to exit the view as mode. So to customize the menu right here, I'm going to click on more, go down to manage sections. And then from here, you can choose, hey, we don't need music. We don't need check-ins. We don't need sports, movies, TV shows, books, likes. We don't need any of that related to our page. Reviews given, again, not going to add that either. And we can say save. So now that kind of changed which ones, when someone clicks more, those things will not all be down there. But some things like about and reviews and mentions, unfortunately, are not able to be modified. But again, if you just wanted to add anything else, manage sections, go down here and you can add those in there if you want to. All right, so this is looking pretty good. There's a lot of like really deep hidden settings, and like that's just the way Facebook is. I'm digging up as many as I can for you in this video. There's 3 more major things I want to talk about in this video. The first one is going to be getting a Facebook username. This is going to be an easy way for people to find you, to type in your URL to get to your Facebook business page and things like that. But again, Facebook kind of hides this. They kind of gatekeep this in a weird way as well. So if I go to settings, we can go down to page setup on the left side. So page setup, then click on name. And then the second thing right here, you don't have a username. Now, not everyone's going to be able to set the username right away. Sometimes Facebook likes to block this until you have 100 followers and some engagement. Other times, they just allow you to get it right away. So I'm going to type in Willow Grove window washing. Willow Grove window washing. It is available. I'll say save. And you can see that is now our username. So if I go into a new tab, a new incognito tab, not even signed into Facebook, and I type in facebook.com/Willow Grove window washing, hit enter. It'll bring us to this page right here. That's our page. That's how somebody can visit it. That's very convenient. Now I'm going to highlight that and copy that. We will actually use that again in a new tab. I'm just going to go to Google and type in QR code generator and skip past all. There's a lot of sponsored ones. Don't go to the sponsored ones. Typically one of the first few free ones down here, ranking organically. So qrcodegenerator.com with like dashes between it. I'm going to click on that one. I'm going to paste my link here. And then on the right side, we have our QR code. So I can download this as a JPEG. That's a really convenient thing to put as a sticker on your door or on tables or anywhere else that you're asking people to review you. And that way anyone can just take their phone out, just scan that with their regular camera. It'll link to your Facebook business page. And then you can, get your reviews, kind of build up your following, build up your exposure on Facebook just by engaging with people who are already customers or already coming to your business, already at least looking at your door on the outside. Or of course, it's an easier way for people to find more information about your business. Like if you're closed, for example, they walk up, they can scan this and learn more about when you're open, what sales are coming up, different things like that. So I highly recommend, that's 2 of 3 right there. I highly recommend making that QR code for your business. And then the third thing I want to show you, probably the final thing in this video, is actually going to be if you want to promote any kind of post. So if you make a post and you really want to target local search, local ads, just, find more customers, because maybe organic growth is going a little bit too slow for your liking. There are, again, no surprise here, many different ways you could do that. One is going to be through the Meta Business Suite, of course, as I showed you before. So business.facebook.com, that'll bring you into that. Another way to set that up is right here in payments. You can set up your ads payments here and kind of go through that. But the easiest way to do things, and Facebook makes it easy for a reason doing it this way, because they just want to lower the barrier. They realize how difficult it is for people to go and make ads through that whole platform, for a beginner if you're not used to that. But let's go back to our page. I'll show you where you can do this. Clicking on our page, I can go down to any post that I like, maybe this one right here, and I can just say boost the post. So boosting the post brings you into this kind of simplified ads dashboard that allows you to choose some basic things. Like, what is your goal for this? Automatically, we're trying to get phone calls. That's what we're optimizing for. So that's telling the algorithm, if you show it to 100 people, the people who click on it and actually click on call now, that's the demographic we want. Advertise to more people with similar interest to those people who did that. We can then add the text. They suggest some right here. So we can say add, some AI generated text. And Meta is rolling out more AI tools in their ads. So I'm sure this is likely to change in the coming weeks, months, and years. So I will actually make a full Facebook business ads tutorial. But for now, just kind of walking through this right here. We're going to leave that enabled, that disabled. The audience, we could just say right now, United States looks good. We could narrow down specifically where they are. So if we click the pencil icon, the geography, let's just say Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, plus 25 miles. You can change how far out to maybe plus like 27, plus 30 miles. Anyone in a 30-mile radius is a potential customer here. So it says right now, that's not too broad, not too narrow. There's about 5 million people that they can advertise to in that radius there. So I'm going to say save. That's really nice. And then down here, how long do we want? 7 days. And we can run this. It's going to be about $14 per day is what the budget I have set right now. But you can slide this up and down and say, hey, if you do $60 a day, it's going to reach between 1,000 and 3,000 different accounts. Of course, they're not all going to click, but that's how many people will see this ad on a daily basis. And of course, you could add a pixel right here. So if you have a website, you can toggle this on. You have to set up a Facebook pixel, embed that in your website. If it's something like Shopify, it's very easy to do. Some other websites require some copying and pasting some code. Again, I'll talk about that in the full tutorial. And then lastly, you can just click publish. It'll add your payment information. You'll add your payment information, and then you'll be able to run this ad and start getting some customers. So that's my tutorial on how to set up a Facebook business page. I really hope you found this video helpful. Like I said, there's a lot of settings. Facebook likes to hide them in weird, deep places. So hopefully you can go back through this video, find all the settings you wanted to use and wanted to change, and ultimately find more success for your business using a Facebook business page. Thanks for watching. I'm Mike O'Brien from Santrel Media. Next, I highly recommend check out the Instagram business page video. That one will help you a lot. All right, I'll see you over there.